to another edition of Deal or No Deal. Alright, so we are going to talk about this duplex this morning. It's a property that's owned by our group. The idea is to talk about financials, learn a few numbers, and then also build on to give you some ideas on what we can do better. Remember, we were smart people with innovations 2 years ago. Everybody just thought of, let's just rent out our property and make money. Now we talk about short-term rentals, we talk about other opportunities that you can do. Okay? So I'll give some ideas what I learned. You guys share with me what you guys learned. Okay? We have Ian. You want to say something?
No, I'm just excited to hear what you have to say first.
Okay, so I cheated. I gave you all my notes because that way it's easier for you to follow along. And I saved paper, so that's why it's on two-sided. One side it just talks about the VACK Group, what we do. We have real estate team that does help you buy and sell. We manage properties. We also help do remodeling, and then partnering with real estate training. And Ian, we also help train people. This is part of the training. If you learn how to do it, need help with a professional, we can do that as well. Help you property management, we can do that as well. So yeah, questions, ideas, interactions, that's all part of this. One of the things I wanted to mention, this is something new that I want, we're part of a community. Three things you can't change about real estate. Location, location, location. Everything else you can change, right? So when you have a location, you want to make sure the community that it is in is not negatively impacted while you're enhancing it. So one of the other things VACK Group does a lot of is partner with the community here, not just politically, but also with the government, as well as the youth. The school districts, if you don't know yet, make a big deal on the value of your property. It's one of those very important items. So we partner with nonprofits that do education, with ECHO, and then also youth cricket, which is coaching. So we do a lot of donations and services as well. So that's over there. This is notes about this property. The FAQs are on here with purchase price, what we did with it, etc., etc., etc. So you can start running your numbers now. I feel like a game show host.
Hey man.
How am I doing on the game show host thing?
Hey, Pat, say Jack.
How am I doing on the game show
We
host?
good, man.
Calculate your numbers now.
I'll be back.
Okay, there you go. Hold it up. So the numbers are on here, and I'll kind of cover some of the history talking points, but of course ask. Okay, it's not a secret. Every property, if you watch the last one, has a story. It's an interesting story sometimes. Sometimes it's a boring, cut and dry. I bought it, yes. That kind of story. So this one, it's a 2-bedroom, 1.5 bathroom duplex. If you walk the other side of the duplex, it's exactly the same, a mirror image of it. When we bought it, it wasn't looking like this. It was a foreclosure. It had somebody that bought it and lived in it, or essentially decided how the best we can destroy it. So it's not old, but it's just heavily used was the word I would use. The flooring was destroyed, the carpets, etc. The bathrooms, the guts were good. The basement and stuff like that was fine, but cosmetically it was holes in the walls.
So you did all new drywall?
Yeah, all new drywall, all new paint, all new floors, all new fixtures. So the only thing that's not new is I think even the toilets are new. Yeah.
So it's an interior rehab.
Yeah, and interior pretty much rehab. One of the things we decided to go like our other properties, if you've been on them, we tried to make it a little pet friendly. Carpets are not very pet friendly, as we have learned. So we went with the industrial, commercial grade, hardwood flooring, laminate hardwood flooring, and then with the high ceilings and stuff like that, we went with neutral color schemes. Again, if you've been to other ones, sorry it looks the same, but yes, we have a palette. We use it everywhere.
Yeah.
So, a few features of this particular one, it has an attached one-car garage, which is very highly sought after right now. That's one of those things. that people do. 2 bedrooms upstairs, 1 master bath, which is between the 2 bedrooms is upstairs, half bath on the main level. There's a full basement on each side with separate utilities except water is shared. So as a landlord, I pay the water, and I split the bill essentially with them. Or if I run it as a short-term rental, I kind of just take it. Insurance, security, insurance, it's a duplex. Security-wise, you've got West Walmart right outside. There's 2 major schools in the Waukesha School District in about 2-mile radius of here. It's a decently nice, okay neighborhood. So a lot of high walk scores. Sunset Drive is literally half a mile north of here, which has a lot of chain restaurants that go with it. So the location really helped build towards its rentability. There's a park also about a block away. The downside is it's got a lot of these in this very area, so competition is very high. Every row is a duplex, and then a little west of here you got apartment complexes. So rents run in different ranges between 1,000 and 1,400 a month, based on interior finish, really more than anything else. So it's a little bit you got to find the right renter that wants to live here. Ideal tenants are people with smaller families or single parents or single individuals that want their own space, but they're close to within everything that they want to be. The idea is it's not quite conducive for a big family with a big need for a big yard. The yard's kind of small, so it's shared with the neighbor, etc. So that's what you're targeting ideally. Waukesha, as you know, is a very big manufacturing heavy town, so there is a lot of potential for those renters in this area. Questions so far?
When did you buy it?
2018, first bullet point.
What's the story been of, because this side is obviously vacant right now, that side has got a short-term type tenant for a year.
Yeah.
Just tell us the story of what's happened since you bought it.
Okay, so when we bought it, okay, this is the interesting part of the story. When you hang out with like-minded people, there are people that push you to your limits. So we hadn't acquired property in a couple of years, and we were like, okay, one of my other investor friends goes, hey, this is great, what have you done recently? And we go, wait a minute, is that a challenge? So then this came on the market, it was a foreclosure, and we are like right on it, within the first day, toured it, put an offer down on it. Foreclosures do take a long time to close, work with a professional. They're more like a guidance counselor and a counselor, a mental counselor when you work with foreclosures. There's a lot of forms to sign. And then we're like, okay, we'll get it, the guts were good, you kind of need to know what to look for. But it had a lot of work to do, so it was very hard to buy it and then rent it right away. It smelled bad. It had poor interior presentation. The bathrooms look crappy, right? So and both sides. So marketing, and this was mid-year, so right in the middle of summer that we are acquiring this property, which, as you know, in Wisconsin is also peak season for real estate. Renters move, people looking to get into school districts move, etc. And then as winter comes around, it's dead, it's slow, nothing's really happening. So we knew we couldn't hit winter, right? We couldn't hit the season for this. So we bought it with that game plan in mind financially, escrowing enough money to pay the taxes, make sure that we can afford it vacant, and then a game plan of what we want to do interior-wise. Because we had to remodel it. And since it's a duplex, we started one side at a time, with the idea that on one side we would work on it and then get that ready and then work on the other side. That was the model to go with. And so we have a remodeling team, and one of the things that worked out with the duplex for us was we had the remodeling guys, a couple of guys, stay on the other side while they worked on this side. So for them it was a little easy, and that year we had a couple of remodeling projects going on, so it was very busy for our team. We had Regency being remodeled, so was a little busy, this really helped vicinity-wise. Yes, Sean?
Speaking of the remodeling, you had mentioned earlier that there's a lot of consistency with the color palettes. What are the benefits to sticking with a consistent color palette as opposed to maybe picking different colors for each unit?
Okay, a very good question. So, one of the things is, as VACK Group, we partner with Sherwin-Williams. So even now, if you wanted to go get a gallon of paint, you could get a $60-ish gallon of paint for like $22 bucks. You just have to say, put it on the VACK Group account or use that account, right? So that system works really good. So when you go to Sherwin-Williams, they have a color palette, and yeah, I guess you guys can use our color palette, but then your properties look like ours. But we can go and say, okay, on this property we need these colors that we've normally bought. So what it does is it tells you the sheen, the color, and then consequently, you know, the volume. Two benefits for that is one, if we had to repaint or touch up something because we have turnover of tenants, it's very easy to color match because it's a standard Sherwin-Williams color with a color sheen, and then you put it on a project name so they can look it up. So I don't have a guess, or my contractors don't have a guess what color it was. The second is, paint is very hard to estimate even with the best painters, because sometimes you find that you need to go a couple more quotes, you need to do more touch up, you have to do a rerun, right? It doesn't cover well. So you know, we have overages, and it's always good to use up your paint because we always buy it in a 5-gallon bucket. So going back to my price example, I believe the ones that we are using here is $23 or something a gallon. But if you buy a 5-gallon pail, you save $1, which is still decently well priced if you're buying, you know, tens of gallons. So we can use the overage, in other words. Our white is pretty standard. We use the same ones inside our bathrooms as we use in our hallways and stuff, so that we can, you know, save by volume there as well. And the price is not that different, of course. Okay, so building off of that, we remodeled, right? And we did one side, went through winter, it was hard. Then we started, and at that time we had other corporate rentals, short-term rentals, we needed one more. So once this was done, we were able to rent this out to somebody that was a corporate rental. A corporate rental in my mind is somebody that stays here, doesn't live in this state, but they come here for work, but they are here for an extended repeat period of time. They usually get a little bit of a discount compared to the nightly rates, but they are here all the time. And their cleaning is not necessarily on an everyday basis, it's, you know, when we need it. So we were able to move in a corporate rental on one side. Eventually we got the second side done over the next year. It did take a while. And then we got it ready. And then within the VACK Group, what we try to do is we keep our clients among ourselves, right? The idea is that you have a client, a renter, I want to upsize, downsize, move, my job's moved, I want to be in Waukesha, I want to be in Milwaukee. So hey, let's keep them in here. So one of my prior tenants, she's like, hey, went through a divorce, I need a place to stay, kind of homeless right now. I'm like, you know, I already know your tenant history, I'm the landlord you're going to call to check for references. So yeah, come on in, I'll try it for a month, we did it for a month, she ended up staying in this particular unit for a year. So the neighbor unit here is one of the people that has is a member of Regency. She runs her business out of there, and then, you know, she's like, yep, I have businesses all over the country. I don't need something on a permanent basis. I need something through this time. So people do that. That helps them have a solution for everything, and they can stay within the family, and of course wherever they are.
So you provide cleaning for the monthly rental?
It depends on the type of agreement we have. So the corporate rentals, as they call it, they have companies usually just pay for it. So they'll be like, okay, my person is there for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and I am looking to go for a week back home and then come back. So it's empty for a week, but they're paid for it. So they'll say, hey, can you have it cleaned up? Or they might say, hey, can you have somebody go through and clean it out? Once, you know, do the dishes, sweep the floors, clean bathrooms, that kind of stuff, do the laundry. But some guys, like the one that was here, she's like, no, you know, I'll take a lesser rent for not having to clean. So it varies. Good questions. More? Alright, so this was bought in 2018. Alright, we rehabbed it. Now, of course, with our in-house rehab crew, it saves us a lot more money, right? We can overlap projects and stuff like that. So we spent about 10% of the value of the purchase price on rehabbing it, right? We got a great program through our financing bank at that time, put a 10% down. So unlike our other property where we had to refinance, we were able to just get a very low down payment in the beginning. So it allows us to have the property at a very low equity in, consequently allowing us to have more cash by new one, right? Market rents in the area run between 1,100 to 1,400 in the vicinity. We have this one priced at $13.95 a month on Zillow if they want to do it a long-term rental, and it's $2,000 a month if you do a monthly rental. So it kind of gives you a little bit of a math. It's very competitive. Utilities are usually internet. Those are your big costs that run, every month: water, utilities, and internet. Insurance, of course, you need that as well. Since it's a duplex, it's a little more than single family. All right. That's
Cool.
I think this has covered everything.
Good job, thanks. Any other questions for him? Should we analyze the deal then?
Oh yes, please.
Cool, well, let's analyze it first for buy and hold, and then maybe for flip, and then for short-term rental. Does that sound good?
Hey, is Ian in the picture? I want to make sure he's
Ian, go into the picture.
Go stand next to me.
Okay, so for buy and hold first, the first thing that we need to know is what? Any guesses?
Aftermarket value.
Well, for buy and hold, what's our goal for buy and hold?
Passive
Cash
cash
flow.
flow.
Cash flow, yes. So how do we determine what cash flow is?
What is my rent
What do
gonna
we
be?
start with? Well, what's the math?
Your costs, minus,
Yeah.
your rental income minus your expenses and
Exactly.
your management fees and.
Yep. So rental income minus all the expenses equals cash flow. So rental income, you said it's $13.95. I think it was $12.95.
Yeah, the average rent in the area, market rent is
$12.95. Okay, so let's just say $1,300.
That's 1,300. Yeah.
Okay, so and it's
No, do the math. It's $12.95. So $5 is important.
Alright, I want somebody or multiple somebodies to pull out your phone with a calculator. What's $12.95 times 2? Because it's a duplex. What is it?
$25.90.
$25.90. Okay, so that's our income. Now all of our expenses got to come out of that. So expenses. You said you pay for the water, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's the water bill quarterly?
About $350 a month. Not $350 for 3 months. So about
350
100.
quarterly. So
110 a month. Yeah.
110.
No, total.
That's the water
Total
bill.
side.
Both
So
sides.
it's like 110 bucks a month, $100 a month.
To be precise, it'd be more like 115. But
Okay, 115.
Yeah.
115.
remember, I got 5 less on my rental market income.
So, Bonnie, are you writing down all these
Yeah.
costs? Okay, awesome. So 115 a month for water. How much is insurance monthly?
Monthly, $50.
Really?
That's cheap.
600 for the year.
Okay.
Who's your insurance agent?
Yeah.
Dan Shiny Insurance. If you want a referral, he's a great guy. Very.
Cool.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
take a talk.
So the idea is good. VACK Group has partners, and I want my partners to grow as much as me. So if you need help that it helps you guys better, no problem.
One thing to keep in mind also, especially with insurance, is we don't want just the cheapest rate, we want something that's gonna cover us. But if it covers us for cheap, that's awesome. So $50 a month for that. And then, what are property taxes?
Ooh, who did their homework? I think they are like, yes.
Got it.
Mine
Well,
was-
it doesn't show up on Zillow.
So yours are probably, I want to say about what, 4,700 here, maybe 46?
I think they went up this year. Waukesha
Yeah, they
got
did go
greedy. 5,100.
5,100.
5,116, I think.
So what's 5,100 divided by 12?
That's
425.
But it's a duplex, and they just know I bought it at a foreclosure. So first year was good. Next year they're like, no. They'll charge you for both sides this time.
And everybody's went up, what did I figure?
10%.
10%, yeah.
Yeah.
Because mine were 5,100 and I've got a duplex just down the road.
Yeah. I mean, the market has been up, right? This area, West High School, is
Starting
in
to
same
slide
demand, but it's a lag variable in that assessed values, right?
Seasonal too, I
Yeah,
saw
they
this
will
time.
go through and go and assess all your values, and everybody gets a uptick. So
So around 5,100?
let's say 5,100.
That's $425 a month.
425. Okay, so we have the water bill and the tenants pay We Energies, right?
No, I do.
You pay for gas and electric?
Oh, I pay for, yeah, right now I do. Yeah.
Well, but
No,
if this was as a buy and
Rented.
hold,
oh, buy and hold, no, the tenants will pay.
The tenants will
yes,
pay that,
electric. They're
so
separate.
the only utility that you pay is the water.
Correct.
So you pay water, we have property taxes, we have insurance.
What were the terms on the mortgage? Or-
Well, let's get to that in a
Okay.
second. So first we're trying to figure out what the net operating income is. So our rent minus all the operating expenses will be the net operating income, and then we take the mortgage off of that.
Got it.
So what other expenses are there? Property management, right?
Right, 5%.
5% cheap.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's what VACK Group charges if you want property managed.
Okay, so we'll put 5% down. So what's 5% of 2590?
25, oh,
129.50. So around that's 130.
110.
Unless 50 cents is expensive.
No, my tenants do, my property landlords do tip us, so make sure you bring it up. On the property management.
I would,
Joke.
just for fun,
Hello?
just for fun, because when we calculate numbers, let's calculate on the conservative side. So 5% is
Very
Really
good.
low.
very low. So let's go with 10%, because that's average.
I'm gonna have you do my pricing from now on.
So we're gonna double that number, so it's like what, 20,
259.
260? 260, okay, so 260 for property management. Maintenance is always a cost, isn't it? But this place, before you rent it out, is gonna be fairly nice, so I wouldn't expect maintenance to be too high. What would you,
So, I always factor in the fact that this is a 2000 something built unit. Its major appliances are on their 10, 20-year mark. So I always factor in, escrowing something to replace it. So I factor just a $50 save away for that at least, and then the basic stuff, your clogged drains, your light bulbs, that kind of stuff that always happens. Your
Do you
leaky toilet.
refill your water softeners and things like that?
This unit does not have a water softener.
Oh, does it?
We decided against that primarily because Waukesha is going to get Lake Michigan water here next year, so your water bills are going to go up. But yeah, that is something that we decided against strategically to place. It wasn't worth for a year to have a water softener. But where was I going with it?
how much per month for maintenance?
Oh, I would say about $75, $100 a month, both units
So you're saying $50 per unit?
per unit.
Okay. That's really low, but, because it's gonna be
It's
nicely-
yeah,
Just
it's-
rehab?
Yeah, it's just recently rehabbed, very hard to damage. I mean, our biggest issues have been, the fridge, had an accident because it didn't defrost right. The water heater here, needed to be replaced, so, because it was on its 15, 17-year mark. So that's something we did do. But apart from that, since it's got new everything, the next thing is the HVAC and the air conditioning. But
Okay, so let's say, we'll put it down for $100. $100
how much do you think it should be?
Well, I would go with, let's go with 150, I would say 200, you say
Yeah, I
100,
would have
so
said
let's go with 150 to
almost
be,
10%.
yeah, let's go with 150. Now tax returns have to be filed every year, let's go with $750 a year, what's that divided by 12? The cost of filing the tax return, $750, what's that divided by 12?
55 bucks or something.
62.50.
So 63. And then vacancy, do we ever have it vacant? It's kind of vacant right now, isn't it? So let's calculate for 8% for vacancy.
So this one, now that's where I would differ on this one. Since it's a duplex and since I have the strategic way we are running it, we have a good 25% vacancy on this one.
Oh, what rate?
25% vacancy.
Tell me, explain why it's that high.
Because the tenants that come in short term are there for a good reason. They are paying a little bit of a premium, right? Well, they're also coming here with, they don't know what they want to do, but they also leave at very short notices, which doesn't allow you to plan or
Remarket.
backfill as quickly.
Yeah.
But if you're doing a buy and hold, you do more of like a 6 or 12 month lease.
Yeah, so if we're doing a typical 12-month lease, not your strategy, if we're just
Right.
doing buy and hold, I think we can go lower than 25.
Okay. So yeah, otherwise this one's 25%.
Yeah, let's go with 8%. What's 8% of the 2590?
207.20.
207. That'll even out with the 63, right? All right. Any other expenses that we can think of? I think we've covered most of it, haven't we? Add all those expenses up.
So who does your
Advertising for you?
advertising, snow shoveling, paying your
Okay, yeah.
realtor?
So,
In a long-term situation, would you have?
well,
to
in a long-term
shovel?
situation, if it's a single-family home, I'm going to make the tenant pay for snow shoveling and mowing lawns and all that. But because it's a duplex, what's the situation?
Well, this, right now, since the strategic way it is done by me.
Yeah. Typically with a duplex, so
Or I, you know, for a exchange for a lower rent, you know, I have the,
which is still a cost.
which is still a cost. So I would factor in anywhere between $50 and $100 a month.
How much?
$50 and $100 a month.
Okay. Yeah, so yeah, let's do 75 a month for lawn care and snow removal. In Wisconsin, in the summer you have to mow the lawn, in the winter you got to shovel. So you got that expense all year
Hey, you
round.
Florida people, it's not that great, but it is awesome. Because I know I have a lot of people from Florida that will be watching this going, suckers.
My sister does
where I
it
shouldn't
to
be
me,
right
and then
now.
she whines when there's a hurricane.
Yeah, we don't have any hurricanes. We don't factor for that season.
Okay, can somebody add up all the expenses for me?
1,345.
You know what? That's really about what I expected because typically in a duplex type scenario, the one side of the rent is going to cover your expenses, and that pretty much does, doesn't it?
Mhm.
So what's the rent minus all expenses? What are you left with?
I got 12.45.
1245.
1245. Okay, so now we got to figure out what's our mortgage, right? If we buy it cash for $207,000, our mortgage is nothing. So then we're cash flowing $1,200 a month. Then our return on investment is quite low because we had to come up with $200,000 to buy the place.
Yeah.
But if we don't, we come up with $22,000 for the rehab and $26,000 for the down payment. Our total cash invested is $48,000. Obviously, that's what he's got on here. So the purchase price is what's 207 minus 26? Like 81, right? Or 181?
Yep.
181,000?
Yeah.
Okay, so somebody go pull up a browser, go to amortization-calc.com. Amortization-calc.com. We're gonna figure out what the mortgage is.
Surely you got a panel there. I love the view of the students, all investors going nuts on their phones. The time's ticking now. You know.
Who has that website pulled up? Okay, Alex. Amortizationcalc.com. Do you see there where there's a place where you can put in a dollar amount for the mortgage?
Yeah.
So put in 181,000. Do a 30-year term.
Okay. Interest rate?
For the interest rate,
5.5. That's very high now. But
that
it's a
true.
commercial
It's
mortgage.
investment.
But that's for an investment purpose. So right now, if you go to a bank to get a mortgage for your owner occupied, it's gonna be lower than that. But for an investment property, yeah, 5.5 is about as good as you're gonna get.
Monthly payment, 1027.
What did you do for an amortization period though?
30.
You won't get a loan for 30.
Do 25 because you can get 25.
20, 25.
Because it's a
15,
commercial?
Yeah,
Because it's
you
commercial.
can.
Your note-
there will be people that do.
Your
30.
notes renew every 5 years, so.
What he's saying is it'll be an adjusted rate mortgage. It's called an ARM.
Oh.
And that means you have these terms set for 5 years or 3 years or 7 years, depending on the bank. And then at the end of that time, they're gonna ask you to refinance. Or if the market crashes, they're gonna say pay us. That probably won't happen, but it could.
You heard it from him. That's Ian. He can predict the future.
No, I don't predict the future. Okay, so 25,
11, 11, 50.
11, 11, 50. So what was our net operating income? 12 something?
1245.
So what's 1245 minus that number?
$133.
So we're cash flowing $133 a month on this property.
Yeah.
What's 130
For 2 units.
for 2 units?
Mm-hmm.
So that's for the property. What's 133 times 12?
1602.
1602. So $1,600.
Mm-hmm.
Now the total cash invested was 48,000 because that was the rehab with the down payment. So 1602 divided by 48,000.
It's 3.375% return.
Okay, so you're getting a cash on
Cash on cash.
a cash on cash return on investment of 3 point what?
3.37.
3.7. Okay, so somebody save that number of 3.7.
3.37.
3.37. Okay, so that's one of the ways that he's making money is the cash on cash return.
Mm-hmm.
What are the? There's 3 more ways that he's making money on this property. What are they?
Cash flow.
No, that was the
Lower
cash flow.
factor.
Deductions.
Appreciation.
Appreciation and
Deductions.
what do you call what are deductions? What would you call that category? Depreciation. Yep. So you're getting appreciation and depreciation at the same time. How awesome is that? And what's the fourth one? How well, he's paying the mortgage every month, right? So what is that?
Yeah.
Equity growth.
Equity is going up, yeah, so equity growth. Of that, how much was the mortgage? 1,100 something?
Yeah.
Okay. When you start an amortization schedule at 5.5%, does that mean that of that 1,100, does that mean 5% of that is interest? No, at the beginning, it's probably 75% interest and 25% principal. So what's 25% of 1,100? Or not 1,100, but whatever the exact number was.
277.75.
So every month, at least in the first year, every month he's making an additional $277.
77.
So multiply that by 12. Every year that goes on, he's going to be better and better. But this is for the first year.
33.
So what's 33 divided by 48,000?
6.9.
So that's an additional 6.9% return on investment. So we figured out the equity growth and the cash flow, appreciation. Can we bank on appreciation?
No.
No. But there are trends, aren't there? Do you have any idea what the appreciation trend for Waukesha is?
Well, for the last, in my realtor experience, for the last, this 5 mile radius has gone up about 7 to 10%.
Over what period of
In the last 3 years, every year.
I agree.
Oh,
7
annually?
to 10%. Yep. So
10% a year for the last 3 years.
yep.
What was the value of this house, let's say in the year 2000, so 20 years ago?
This was brand new built at that time. I believe it was in it was 150 to 200. So I think it was 190 some property when it was built.
On the history on Zillow, it said that it sold in 2008 for $235, but then
That was the market in
that was
the early part of 2000. This was just built.
brand
2008
new.
was the peak
peak.
of this. After 2008, it just went down, right? So now, 10 years, 12 years later, 2008, the market's coming back. But let's say if I bought this, if this was available in 2015, it'd be a 200 or maybe a 190 property still.
And what is it? What's the ARV now? I mean, you bought it for 207, but what's the ARV?
I think the unit next door, that's very similar, 2 doors down, none of them sold for less than 240. So 240, 260.
We would actually want to get verified numbers and get it actual, but let's just say between 240 and 260, that's 250, right?
So you did not have it reappraised after you
No,
rehabbed it?
because my cost down payment's already low. No bank will give me there's no equity in it to give me more like cash out.
So 250, let's just say that's the ARV, and you bought it for 207. So that's how much percent increase is that? What's 207 divided by 250? Or what's 43?
43 divided by.
What's 43 divided by 250?
2.15.
What?
2.15.
25%.
Okay, 25% increase.
No, that's not 25%.
What,
No,
what,
that's
It was
43,
13, 20.
43 divided by
Yeah, that's pretty
207.
close, actually.
43 divided by 207.
Yeah, it's 20.
Yeah, it is 25.
Yeah, 43 divided.
25% in 2 years, so that was a 12% increase in the last 2 years. That's really optimistic. You're not going to continue to get that.
Do you think the market is hitting another peak, or is it gonna, do you think in this area it's gonna
So-
continue to go up?
Okay, so this is where stats matter, right?
Yeah.
I'll give you a little secret on camera. Buy low, sell high.
Really?
Guys, seriously, do that, right? Why was this a low buy?
It's a foreclosure.
It was a foreclosure. The condition wasn't that great. My competition to buy a foreclosure were only 3 sets of people. Handy people that want to live in it and update it. Number 2, investors such as yourself, right? And number 3 are people that, don't mind living in a place and just keeping going, right?
Okay, so that's a really good point. You bought this place low, so this place hasn't appreciated that much. You forced appreciation into it.
Yeah, so
So-
that's the strategy
Sure.
on this one, right? Does every property work like that? No. But that's where you work with professionals, being ready for investing. That's what matters, Our average appreciation in the VACK Group, I did the stats for last year for all our clients that we work with, is between 20 and 30%. Some are up to 50%. Because you buy a property, the market, you have tailwind from market's in your favor. Number 2, you're buying them as an opportunity, right? We had to wait 2 months and do a lot of song and dance and rain dance and all that stuff with the bank to get this property, right? As a foreclosure. So you have to be patient,
Yep.
right? We placed the offer in April. We didn't close till much later, right? So we missed the entire season. But that's cash that was to hold the property during the remodeling period. So you kind of have to factor a lot of those in. Even the numbers sound great, but that's what you kind of have to do.
So for an actual appreciation, the market appreciation, not your forced appreciation, let's go. If you do 2%, that's very conservative. I think we could be a little bit more generous, realistic at 5%. So what's 5% of the ARV of 250? So 5.05 times 250,000.
12,500.
Okay, so divide 12,500 by
250.
48,000.
Oh.
Because we invested 48,000.
Dot 26.
So 26% ROI. Okay. So remember we had a 3.3% on the cash. We had a 6.9 on the equity, and we have a 26 on the appreciation. Now we got to go to depreciation. So depreciation, first of all, the house is worth 250, but we can't depreciate the entire thing. We can depreciate the purchase price
Minus the land.
minus the land, exactly. So the purchase price was 207. What's the land worth
I
here?
think it's 40 or 60,000. I think 60,000.
So what's 207 divided minus 60? 207 minus 60. 147.
Depreciated by 27.5.
So is that 147?
Yeah.
Okay, so the purchase price was 147 for the building. So 147,000 divided by 27 and a half. That's how much we can depreciate it every year. What's that?
5,345.
Okay, so 5,000.
345.
Yeah, divide that by 48,000.
It's 11.1%.
Okay, so we add that. So now add all those percentages up.
Come on, guys, he's already done it in his head.
8, 31, 39%.
39%? Should be higher than that.
Well, yeah, you technically can.
26
Can you add
plus
that?
11.
Can you add my unrealized appreciation in?
It's your profit. It's not.
Oh, sorry.
Because it's not realized. I won't realize that appreciation till I sell it.
So it's
Correct.
26 plus 11.
26 plus 11 plus
39.
I got
26
Did I miss
point,
one?
26 point what?
I got 40.7.
Oh, wait, we missed one.
That's a 3.3.
That sounds
Yeah.
supposed to be. 40% return on investment. Nice. On an annual basis. So that means in 2.5 years, he's recouped all of his money.
Yeah, we went with a 5-year plan, but yeah. But again, remember, market tailwind behind you. That's a big deal.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, the strategy you adopt is also a big deal. We could have rented this out for $1,000 a month, as is, kind of crappy looking, hard to compete, right? So you kind of have to invest the cash. You got to have that $22,000 of remodel cash.
Yep.
That kind
Yep.
of stuff.
So is that a deal that anybody here would do?
Yeah.
The answer is depends. It depends on who you are as an investor. I mean,
Well,
if your what's your goal? If your goal is to build wealth, this is awesome because he's got it's a 40-something% return annually. He's increasing his equity and he's increasing his equity, decreasing his mortgage, increasing his appreciation. So the house is going up in value, and how much he owes is going down. So he's creating wealth is what he's doing. Cash flow, not so much. Right? So if what you need is cash flow, you wouldn't do this deal. Because it's what, 3% return on investment for there, or what was like 100-something dollars a month for 2 units. So he's getting like $70 a month in cash flow. Who watched the Chris Albin Creative Acquisitions?
The one
Um,
that just.
the one that was just
Yeah,
happened.
that's-
The one that was just happened last week. Remember how he was saying you're not going to make a whole lot of cash flow on properties necessarily, and that's because all the expenses that we went through. There's going to be a lot of expenses, but you will make cash flow some. You should at least break even, and I say you ought to do better than break even. But if your goal is to just create wealth, this type of property is awesome.
so question, when you were analyzing this deal and you put did the estimate on the repairs, did you come in where you thought you would be, or were you under or over?
I was under, because, okay, so going back to in-housing versus outsourcing, right? The land that you're standing on, you will recognize that it's also used in Regency, right? We bought this in bulk. So that helps, right? I mean, the cost per square foot I paid versus what you would get for retail is quite different. So that will help us be under. We talked about the paint, that was the other thing. Labor is usually the most expensive, right? And labor during summer is even more expensive. So, that's something you need to figure out. In-house crew, your other crew, if you've got people, if you're a handy person yourself, it really helps. You can put up your own camera, you can do your stuff, it really helps. So that was what was under. The positive surprise we had was the exterior, we thought was destroyed too, because it looked like crap, literally. It's a white siding, it's a white vinyl siding. And where we lucked out was just power washing it and cleaning it out, the mold and the mildew came right off. So that really saved us quite a bit of money on the curb appeal, as so to speak. So I think that was one of those big positives. The rest of the stuff was mostly per plan. Upgrading to stainless steel appliances and stuff like that was kind of part of it. We got a few deals out of those as well. So.
Awesome. Any questions about the analyzation that we just did for buy and hold? It's pretty easy, simple. You just do the math. The math will tell you what to do.
Would you be able to take a HELOC out on this and velocity bank it so you pay it off faster?
Probably not, because this, at least in today's market, because home equity lines of credit typically are for owner occupied only, and Cash App doesn't live here.
But I'm trying to work with a few of my, so VACK Group, right? We have some buying power. If you're working with us, you're trying to go to the same bank. You're trying to work with banks to offer us programs to do that.
Yeah, it has been done, but it's just few and far between banks will do that. What you could do, Cash App, is come live here, get your home equity line of credit, and then go somewhere else. And get another home on line of credit, right?
Okay.
I was thinking about that. It's a nice place. I wouldn't mind living here.
You wanted ideas? There's an idea.
You know? But then again, I could just tell my senior vice president of the bank saying, hey, this is what me and a lot of other people would like to do. Can you help us out and put a program together? I think that might go a little better because not only help me, it'll help everybody. Right? Then they'll get customers, they'll get you guys as customers. Right? It's a competitive, even banks have to make money. Believe it or not, they do on every deal, but they want more money. Greedy banks. Right? But, hey, if they can give us a program that works for us, customized to us.
Well, let us know when you get a bank that will do
Yeah.
HELOC on an investment. Alright, so let's go to analyzing this for a flip. So what's the math now?
Purchase price, flip price,
What?
like the amount of money you need to flip it.
Yeah, so the purchase, the math is, what's the end result, what are you trying to figure out?
What can I sell this for minus all of my acquisition
Yeah.
and rehab costs?
So the one thing that's most important to me is, at the end of the day,
Profit.
what's my profit? Exactly. So we want our ARV, which is what we're gonna sell for, minus all of our expenses, holding costs, rehab, everything, minus profit equals what we can pay for it. So first off, because he's already bought the place, we know what the purchase price was, so we've already got that. And we've already got a rehab, but to do a flip, we're gonna add a little bit more.
Is the door closed?
No, main door.
Go ahead.
We're gonna add a little bit more for the rehab costs because as a flip, you're gonna do a few things nicer to get it sold faster, particularly in the kitchen and the bathrooms. So he rehabbed it for $22,000, and let's say we add another $10,000 because we're gonna put nicer appliances. Maybe we'll do
Granite
The kitchen.
countertop.
granite countertops. So we're gonna add another 10. So let's go with 32. Let's just put it to 35 to make a nice even number. Okay? So we have a purchase price of 207. We have a rehab of 35. And what other costs are there? It's gonna be holding costs, right? Let's
How long did you hold it before you could rent it? Cause you bought it in what,
8 months.
8 months, okay.
Before my first renter came in here, the remodeling, 8 months. It was all through winter 2018.
Let's go with 6 months, because I think if our goal is to flip the property, let's get the rehab done a little faster. And I think we can do faster than 6 months. But
Yeah.
let's
Oh, we
just-
can, yeah, my particular circumstances.
Let's go
yeah,
with
there was a lot of work.
6 months to be conservative. We can buy the place, fix it up, and sell it within 6 months. Especially in today's market, things sell pretty quickly. Being a duplex, it's probably gonna be a little bit longer than it would be if it's a single family, but let's just stick with 6 months for easy numbers. So what's the monthly, if it's vacant and you're working on it, the only people in here are contractors, what would be the monthly we entertain electric bill?
It's probably the same, about 300 water, heat, electricity.
So 300 a month for water, heat, electricity, all utilities, 300 a month? Okay, so 300 times 6 is 1,800. So that's holding costs. What about closing costs? So we have closing costs when we buy it and closing costs when we sell it. What were the closing costs when we bought it?
We usually go with 10% of every cost, realty fees, closing.
No, let's get exact.
We use our title company, which also saves us a lot of money. So $1,200.
$1,200 for closing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's 5%.
Yeah, that's about that. No, that's not 5%.
That's
Less
not,
than
that's a
five,
lot.
yeah.
A lot less.
That's very
Yeah. That's like less than 1%. Because 1% would be 2,000, right? Yeah, 1%
Yeah,
would
maybe
be.
0.5%. That's really low.
Let's go with 2,000 for closing when we buy. Okay. There's going to be 2 closings. Let's go with 5,000 for both closings. 2,500 per closing. So we have the purchase, which is 207. We have the rehab, which is 35. We have the holding cost, which is 1,800. We have the closings, which is 5,000. We have to pay a realtor when we sell it. And what are we gonna sell it for? How much?
You gotta pay me as a realtor to tell you.
260?
You're listed for 250 million.
I would say 260 would be good because we've put more into it. It's gonna sell a little bit nicer. So 260. What's 6% of 260? Your Shore West realtor cost. Let's do 5% because this guy's a realtor also. You do
VACK
5%,
Group will compete.
and you do 5%, right?
I'm not gonna disclose cost, but it's more lucrative than Shore West.
Okay, let's do 5%. 5% of 260. What is it?
13,000.
13,000. All right, that's another cost. What other costs do we have? Is that it?
You held it, you bought it, you remodeled it,
Yeah. Okay.
and you.
So let's
personally
take-
sell it.
Let's see what our profit is.
So don't you have to pay a mortgage, and you didn't do mortgage and
Okay,
property
correct,
tax.
correct. Yep. So
Okay.
we have monthly costs
Yeah.
for the mortgage. Thank you. That's another holding cost.
6 months.
6 months of the mortgage.
Times 11 is
6,600.
Another 6,600. Perfect. Thank you. Yep. Thank you. Good catch.
And property taxes was
Yeah.
4.25 times 6.
Yep. Property taxes 425 times 6 is how much?
2550.
2550. Okay. And insurance also. We can't forget that. Insurance was $50 a month. It's another 300. Good. Yes. Thank you. Can't forget all the holding costs. Okay. Add all those up. What do all those costs add up to?
I have 64,250.
64,250, and the purchase price was 207. So what's 260 minus 270 something?
No, 260 minus 7.
Minus 64,250 would be.
Yeah, but we also purchased the house, right?
Oh yeah, 207. So 2.
So in other words, losing money.
Yeah.
So this wouldn't make a good flip. Typically, when we do a flip, how much profit do we want to make?
A lot.
At least as much as we're doing repairs.
At least as much as repairs, yeah. So, if repairs is 35, let's say we want to make 35 in profit also. So, 35 in profit plus what were all the costs?
63 or 64,000.
64,250.
Yeah.
Okay, so add those up.
99,250.
Okay, so if we're gonna sell it for 260, what's 260 minus 99.2? That's basically 100, right? So 260 minus 100, it means we need to buy the place for 160. If we want to do this as a flip, we'd have to buy it maximum 160.
Which was available in 2013. You just missed it by.
Cool. Any questions about doing a flip? Awesome. Making sense?
So who asked me whether this was available for sale? Now, did you ask me that question or what did you say?
Alright, so let's do short-term rental. There's a couple different ways that we can do short-term rental. First way is we can buy the building and then do short-term rental out of it. See if you
Bye.
And the second way is you can rent the building and do short-term rental out of it. So Cash App already owns the building. So if he was to do short-term rental out of this, when in the short-term rental class, the cost of furnishing and paying the first month's rent, security deposit, and all that, conservatively calculate for $25 a square foot. From experience, it can be less than that. But conservatively, in case there's, oops or whatever, we go for 25 a square foot. What's the square footage?
A little over. That's a 1,300. Each side.
1,300 each side. Okay, so 1,300 times 25.
Are we gonna do each side or both sides?
It's each side.
Let's do each side for now.
$32,500.
So $32,500 is our cost to furnish this place. How much are we gonna make? Have you done short-term rentals out of here? What's the nightly rate?
This one goes for 89 to 120, no, a day.
And is that in the winter or the summer, or is that an average?
So I would say an average is $90 a day.
$90 a day. So what's 90 times 30?
2,700.
2,700, and let's multiply that by 0.8 for vacancy.
2,200.
So the winter, like January, is probably going to be more vacant than that. The summer's probably going to be less vacant than that. But just for an average, we can make 2,200 a month per side. Expenses are going to be higher for a short-term rental than if you're doing a long-term rental, because now you have to pay for all the utilities. You have to pay for TV and internet and everything. So expenses are going to be higher. I would, well, we could get exact about it, or we could just bump the expenses up a little bit. But if you're going to be exact, you got to be exact. So for me, let's just start writing down what are we going to pay for. We're going to pay for a security system. In a duplex like this, let's say the security system is probably going to cost you about $70 a month. For internet, $55 a month. For utility, all utilities, you said it's like what, 300 a month?
300.
But that's for the whole duplex, right? So let's do 150 for the side.
No, electricity does run 150 a side alone.
Okay.
Electricity and heat.
Okay, so 300.
Probably.
And then water was about 100 a month, so 400.
Probably.
Well,
200.
let's just do one side.
Oh, but you did the 2200 as both. No, that was one
That
side.
was just one side.
Okay, yeah, so then it's about 200 a month, utilities.
Utilities 200 a month. per
Water
side.
and heat and electricity.
Okay, so 200 for utilities.
That's a little bit conservative.
Oh, yeah. 220.
So we have, what do we have so far? We have internet, security, utilities. Is that it?
Insurance, maintenance,
Okay, insurance, let's go with,
50 a month.
well, no, because of
Short-term.
short-term rental insurance, let's go with 70 a month. My one-bedroom apartments are 55 a month. It's gonna be more for those.
Yeah, snow removal and lawn and all that stuff
Yep.
still. So we said
100.
100.
Netflix, I would put at $10 a month, because you don't need to have one Netflix account for every unit, because they can share. But you're going to get the more expensive Netflix, so let's just go $10 a month for that. And let's just say $10 a month for, for all of your, I have Disney Plus and I have Netflix, but then for TV, I'm not going to do cable or anything, I'm going to do YouTube TV, which is $50 a month for 6 accounts. 6 accounts meaning 6 TVs. And in this unit, there's going to be 3 TVs, because it's 2 bedrooms and a living room. So 3 TVs here, so that's half of that, so that's $25 a month for TV. For other expenses, cleaning expenses.
Cleaning, yeah.
Is, let's say $50 per turnover, and if we're doing short-term rentals, it depends on what type of customer we're having here for how many turnovers we're gonna have, but let's say 1 a week, so that's 4 a month, so that's $200 a month for cleaning. And then we gotta pay rent, so rent's gonna be $13.95, okay? Let's add up all those expenses. What is it? Oh, you need to.
I think we have 35 now.
Wait,
What's the
35?
total cost?
I was just subtracting everything.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
And,
What's the total cost? Can you just add up all the total costs?
But if you do snow shoveling and you have both units, it's technically split. And you mow the lawn for all the lawn, not just one side.
so yeah, 50, so we could
it's,
cut that down.
Yeah, a lot of those, the benefit of a duplex are that you can do for both
Yeah.
units at the same time, so that helps.
Taking that down to 50.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because yeah,
Per unit.
a lot of that is, other that turns out to be very hyperinflated in terms of that, right? Water is shared unit to unit. If one unit's vacant, your water drops quite a bit. That kind of
So we
stuff.
got 2,075 for expenses.
Okay, and our income we've got at 2,200.
Yep.
I'm gonna say that I feel like $90 a night is pretty low for a 2-bedroom duplex.
Oh, it is.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
It is, but that's because that's me, right?
Yeah.
I'm picky about my renters and.
Yeah, I think we can go significantly higher than $90.
I was gonna say,
for-
that seems
yeah.
very low.
That's about what my 1-bedroom apartment is.
Really?
So for this, we could easily go over 100. Let's
110, 115.
One of the leading short-term rental sites recommends I list this as 129 a night.
let's go with 120. So what's let's do our math again for that. 120 times 30
7.8.
times 20.
Yeah, I underprice it, so I get a pick, and my unit shows up higher on.
It's a strategy. that
It's a
got
strategy.
it.
And yeah, people do sign up at 90 a night, but then they end up turning to be weekly, monthly renters,
So
right?
you get longer rentals.
They get
You
longer,
tend to get
and my
longer.
expenses go down, which adds to my bottom line much quicker than trying to turn over renters regularly, right?
Yeah.
So what is the math? 120 times 30 times 20?
We're ended up making
28.
312.
What's the,
Minus.
but what's the gross revenue?
3,300, that's what she's saying.
Oh, 3.
Yeah.
Okay, 3,300 minus what were all the expenses? Like
3,075.
2,000. So we cash flowing around what was that? 1,300.
1237.
So just over $1,200 a month. First time.
1287?
Aside.
37, sorry.
So that's assuming that I'm coming in here and renting from Tesla. I'd make $1,200 a month. Not bad.
Really?
Each side.
Each side.
Okay, now I want to buy. Might be interested.
Now, how much appreciation do I get?
None.
0. How much depreciation do I get?
None.
How much equity growth do I get?
None.
Exactly. So cash flow is much better, but you get nothing of any of the other stuff. So what's the return on investment? So $1,200 a month,
What was it, $25 square foot then?
25 square foot is that was like what 33,000 or something that you invested?
33.
What was it?
32,500.
So what's 1,200 divided by that?
That's super high. I
Yeah,
can
that's
spend that
super
much in
high.
remodeling, that you
I-
don't need to spend that much in
You
refurnish.
wouldn't put that much. Well,
It depends
Sure,
on the
but-
guest you're trying to attract.
no, that's true.
What?
But it doesn't fit the neighborhood though either. I mean,
No, it's gotta be higher than that.
In
Okay, you're right.
units
But
that we did, we
multiply that by
averaged
12
about
because
$20
for a year.
per square
So
foot,
since we're
$20
calculating
$20.
actuals on this, what would it actually cost to get this particular unit done?
Sorry, what?
44.3%.
It's the zoo.
So conservatively,
Yeah, but I would say
you get at least
this is-
44% ROI.
It's
Now, actual, you're right. I'm not going to actually probably spend $25 a square foot because I've done this before. I would probably spend closer to 15 to 17 is what I would probably actually spend. So
So the return would be higher.
your return would be higher. Yeah. Yeah, but you're not creating any equity. You're not creating any wealth. You're just making cash flow. So it depends on what your goal is to what you're going to actually do. And the cost for putting this together is that $33,000 or less. So it cost me $33,000. Let's just say it cost me $25,000 or between 20 to 25. That's what my upfront cost is. Versus if I'm gonna buy the place and do short-term rental out of here, well, I gotta come up with the $26,000 down payment plus the $22,000 rehab plus the cost that I had to do to refinish it. So that means I can do, that's like, those are like the same 22 plus 26 plus the 25. That's 3 times the money that I need to do one unit. So I can do 3 times as many units if I don't own it. Do you need to own it?
That explains your Facebook post. Ah.
So now
Congratulations again.
where would you be able to get a $30,000 loan to start this?
I wonder if if there's some Renatus classes that can teach you how to do that. Actually, there's four classes that focus on money. There's more than that, honestly, but many of them do. But there's raising money in partnerships, private and hard money, real estate sales success, and financial strategies. Those 4 classes really focus on how you find money, how you talk with people with money, and how you properly legally structure the documents, how you do all those things. And then there's another class, self-directed IRA, which is in the essentials. That one shows you how to use other people's retirement accounts. So when you put all those things together, I won't say it's easy, but all the steps are laid out for you to go out and get money. And that's nothing to do with bank money. That's all private equity, private money.
I would say those are specific classes, but when you go through all the classes, it's kind of all together because you got tax and legal they're gonna go over a little bit, right? And